Hello again. So this is what you do after you're done with your test and you've shown. Then you go back and you continue working on the basics. So this is compilation little clips from the last 3 weeks of lessons. And here we are working on a center line. And he's doing center line off my seat. And we're getting a nice square halt. He was getting a little fidgety. This is at the end of the lesson. This is another lesson on a different day. We're starting to get the stretchy walk, and he's actually staying down quite nicely in the stretch. So we made some improvements even on that little clip that you see there. And this next clip, you can see our contact has greatly improved over the last 3 weeks. So that's something that I'd said earlier that we weren't too worried about. We knew it was going to come. He had that little issue a couple weeks ago where he was hopping in the front and kind of getting like dancing horse-ish. We worked through that. It only took him about a week or so. Got him through that, and you can see now the contact is much better. He does gape still here and there, but again, it's just recent that we've been able to get this contact. So here we are working on shoulder in. And yes, we are showing an intro, but we are now starting the beginnings of shoulder in. I've been riding him shoulder 4, so the shoulder in was just a steeper angle. You can see I went a little too steep there, but I wanted to get the shoulder in. And then we were going to do our first canter. This was this weekend. So we just let him trot out. You can see him trot out, and then he'll pick up the canter. And I have it in the next series of clips here. So this is the first canter. It felt weird. I felt like he was like rushing through me. And you'll hear my trainer in the background and some of the commentary. And here we are finishing, which I felt was the better part of that first canter. Very smooth, very easy to sit to. All his gaits are very easy. And what it was he was unbalanced. So that's what I was feeling, was that unbalanced. And it's, again, he's green, and she's done a little bit with the canter, but not much. And this is the first time I've cantered him since I trialed him a year ago. And here we are doing a trot down the long side. That was after the canter. He got a little unsettled, and I wanted him to settle before we asked for the canter again. We had a few strides of canter and then back to trot. And here we are doing the canter. This is the last canter, I believe, that we did. Nice and easy. And then he just comes back on his own. We're just having him go forward, having it be easy, no stress involved. And then this is the end of the particular lesson. And then he comes down and he wants to do a stretchy trot, which is fantastic because we've been picking at that a bit too. This is Jalaal. He just got cleared about 2 weeks ago to come back into work after he had laminitis from June until recently. His x-rays look good. Very excited. Again, I have to keep him quite lean now because he's had an episode of laminitis. He was actually lame since January. And I'm thinking because the shoulder issue seems to have disappeared now that the foot angle has improved, that it must have been related to the laminitis. But this was 2 weeks ago when I first got clearance to back him. And of course he pulled his shoe the next day. So he just got his shoe back on today, and I did some side reins with him today, and I'll probably back him maybe tomorrow again. And you can see he's been doing free lunging in the round pen for about 6 weeks now, but I just wanted to make sure that he remembered that we were supposed to be working and not messing around. I actually asked him for a little bit more than I would normally expect with a horse that's been laid off, but he's quite an energetic little guy, so I figured I'd just go ahead and do it and see where he was at. So I had him do some trotting, some figure eights. The total length of time that we rode was probably 6 minutes. I did take him out of the round pen and we walked around the property when we were done, but the round pen work was only about 6 minutes. And I did ask him for about 3 strides of canter because I wanted to see where he was at, where his brain was at, where his body was at, how he felt, because he's been off for quite some time. Again, last time I rode him was in February for a schooling show. So here's the canter. Asked for about 3 strides. It was a nice canter. He pushed off from behind. It was uphill. Left it at that. And this is Cielo.
Cielo decided
And Cielo had laminitis last year. Had it again this spring, and then had it really hard from about May until recently. Pretty significant bout of laminitis. I thought I was going to lose him. So when she gave me clearance to ride him, I was quite shocked. I didn't think that he was going to be rideable. And there we are, just looking at some sand that I've had delivered, and this is going to be my future arena. And we're just laying manure down and just tilling the soil a bit and just softening it and making the ground better. And then he didn't want to go in the round pen, so we went out for a walk around the property. So I'll let you just enjoy this. It was a wonderful experience for me. I'm quite happy. And then, of course, he injured himself. So, you know, one pulled a shoe, one got a slight injury. So, but the vet was out today, and she said that I am perfectly fine to ride him. He's sound. He's just got a little bit of a puncture wound that's healing, and the walk would do him good. So, anyway, I'm quite excited to have him back.
Absolutely amazing that we're back to being able to ride. As bad as he was with the laminitis.